Now this one was the failure of the year. My gosh, everyone just has their own app nowadays, and which is convenient, but also I don't need a million zillion apps. It's just really annoying. What happens if I go on a vacation and then like 7 days are just blank in this chunky planner? Like that would just like bother the crap out of me, honestly. You're getting passed around in the system on who you're trying to talk to. Absolutely not, never again. I've learned my lesson. Now I ask for business cards. Hello everyone. Welcome to another video with me, Kabute. Today we are going to do my 2024 Hobonichi planner setup, essentially. Well, to be honest, I've gotten started a little bit, but I do want to take this video to also go over some of the stuff that went wrong and the things that didn't go so great versus the things that went really great, and what I'm going to be taking with me into 2024. So you can see I have some stickers here. I have some another planner here, the Hemlock and Oak Undated Daily Planner, and some of the stuff that I used this past year. So we're going to actually go into some of my 2023 planners doing a light flip through. I don't want to spend too much time on it because I'm really eager to show you what I have planned in my 2024. Okay, so here are the Hobonichi planners that I had in 2023. I went over them lightly in my previous video, but I want to do a little bit more of a flip through on some of them. So this was my main planner for 2023. I used this Hobonichi Weeks. It's the normal weeks. It is not the mega. And I used it for a combination of different things. Honestly, I used it for work and personal, and then it ended up turning into just a personal life planner because I ended up bringing in the Hemlock and Oak planner right here about a little bit halfway through the year for my professional development and more work notes type of things. So I'll go a little bit over this one too, but nothing in here is too crazy. What we're here for is the Hobonichis, honestly. So let's do a light flip through and what I can show you. So for here, oh wait, not that. So I didn't decorate too much. This was actually very functional. I ended up not using the yearly section at all, and I tried to here, as you could see, I tried to have like a paid time off, a paid, unpaid time off sticky note here, but I ended up not really doing it very much, and I was just like, I work a lot, so it was really hard to like not to, I don't know, it's also very tiny. This is just very good glance, not really much I could do here. I mean, yeah, I didn't do much here really. So this was the yearly. I also had some tabs from the Coffee Monsters Co., as many of you know. For the year, how do you call this? The index, people usually call it. I didn't know what to use it for, and I started, it dawned on me that maybe I could use this for like a work tracker. So I work hourly right now, and I work 8-hour shifts. So it didn't work out as much as I would want it to. In theory, it would have been really nice to kind of see all my paychecks lined up here and the amount of times I worked. It also like helps me keep in mind how much I am working and keep track of my time card in a way. So I could remember why a certain check is smaller than the next and at a glance, rather than me having to sift through like my weeklies, like, or in a month seeing when I had a vacation or like when I had to take a half day or so on. So having this was really nice. I think I'm going to try doing it again in 2024, but as you could see, I had a hard time keeping up with it. So we'll see how it goes. I forgot about it completely, but I think it's a pretty good idea, especially if you want to keep track of your paychecks. So that's what I did there. And then in my monthlies right here, this was December 2022, I was using them as much as I could, putting a lot of appointments, pickup times, as you could see, chimney flash repair, things to do with the house. And I was using some Coffee Monsters Co. I was using some pens here to note certain things, as well as different shifts. It looks like I did an overnight shift on these 2 days. And I also had like general things here, not really trackers. I noticed that people use the sides for trackers, but I didn't use them for trackers. I have a hard time with trackers personally. So instead, I use these already set sections for monthly to-dos. So things that I should ideally get done in this month if I want my life to be easier and not procrastinate something and end up not doing it at all, which is the worst case scenario. So that's what I have these here. So, and they could range from different things. So that is a little bit of my monthlies, and then just doing like a quick little flip through here, you could see that I used it pretty well. I try to note down some of my bills and all of that good stuff. So yeah, I think I used it pretty well. I can't imagine me using it for any other pieces except for just putting down existing appointments and holidays. So that was that. As for my weeklies, I have to find a spread that I am comfortable showing because some of it does have some personal information. So let me find that for us real quick. All right, so I found a weekly spread that I'm okay with showing. So this is generally how I used it throughout the year. I used the days over here for just general tasks and events. I used a legend system that just kind of stuck really. I used a dot, like I put a circle if it was like an event or a meeting, and then I would fill it in if it actually happened. And then if it was an X, you could see that I used just a normal, just literally a dot, and then I just X it out if I had completed that task. So those are tasks, and then the events are circles, and then they're filled in when it actually happens. I use the note section for separating it from personal to work. So I do that down over here, as you can see, personal, work, home. I divide it based on what I need that week, and they're typically involving ongoing task lists, things that I should just be mindful of or remind myself of. That's what that side entailed. I use this little sliver here. As you can see, there's a faint line down on the notes section, and I use this for just additional pieces. Usually I used it for appointments that day. So over here you could see Wi-Fi arrives, something related to my work, pantry 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. I actually don't even know what that is. And some other noting pieces here. Looks like it has to do with my work. Over here, I have some other things here. So you could see that I have a bill. Sometimes I'll put like a bill that hits, or just something to keep in mind is what it is. So it's a small note section, something to keep in mind, or if there's a sudden plan change that I need to do, these are day-to-day tasks, and these are ongoing lists. So this is typically what my weeklies looked like, as you could see here if you flip through. Some weeks are more filled out than others, and they very functional. As you could see, I'm just kind of crossing things off along the way. I'm very spotty with my use of deco, and that is something that I want to change going into 2024. I want to be able to use my stickers. I have such a hard time using my stickers. Don't know why. It's always been an issue. So that is my weeklies. As for the notes section, I can't go into it because my notes section, honestly, it's too much personal information, but essentially I want to use my notes section. I'll just keep it right here. I initially had, this is what was supposed to be my note section, but none of it happened. Like none of this happened in there. Instead, I started using it instead for emergency contacts or addresses that I should keep in mind of important folks in my life, or places that I know I'm going to go to all the time. So I'll give you an example. I should probably have the address of the nearest hospital in here, or like the nearest fire department, something like that, just so I have that in mind. And and my own emergency contacts as well is really important to have. So I know that we live in a digital world. However, we've experienced a couple of power outages this year, and if I had if I didn't have like a backup charger, I wouldn't have any access to anything. And if my phone dies, I just wouldn't have anything. So digital world, very convenient, but at the same time, I would feel more comfortable if I had some sort of backup somewhere that wasn't digital and I didn't rely on a charge or a battery. So I'm going to use my note sections for that. I did use it for this year and having those in the back, but I think I have a better idea on what to include next year. So that's what I'm going to use my note sections for, and that is essentially how I used my weeks. And I'm going to go ahead and go into some of my other Hobonichis that I used in 2023. So setting this one aside, now onto my Hobonichi English Techo day per page planner, but not a planner. Didn't use it as a planner. I use it as a daily diary. So obviously I can't flip through all this. This is actually very personal to me. However, I will try to show you some pages that I feel comfortable giving you a snippet of how exactly I used it. So let me find that page for you. I used the monthly section. So this planner does have monthlies and it has dailies, but I wasn't quite sure what to use the monthlies for. I had a hard time figuring out what I wanted to do because I didn't want to just like waste these pages. This is a very expensive planner to me, so I wanted to be able to utilize it as much as possible. So what I did is that I decided to write down a small little bullet point essentially of something that made me happy that day, something that reminds me of the very positive things in my life, whether big or small. And it helps me reflect back on a certain month or time period and remembering that I do take care of myself and I do make efforts to do so despite the stressors in my life. I do make effort to do these things because I wouldn't be able to write something down if I wasn't making those efforts. So you can see here just some small things here, like a slow work day. I got some food here, a birthday, rolling lumpia. I'm Filipino, so I was able to home make some lumpia, and that was great. Opened my Hobonichis, so that's obviously a big positive, as we know. Meal prep some salads. I was very proud of myself. My fiance made some mac and cheese, which was really good. So like all these small things that helps me look back on it, and it just pinpoints the small things in life that really keep the world moving round, right? So that is what I use the monthlies for, just a piece of gratitude of that day. And I want to make mention that I try my best to not have the bullet point or the positive thing that happened to me that day be work related. Some of them are, but I tried my best to avoid that because it is easy to let work consume your life, especially with how much time we do working. And honestly, there's more to life than work. So I want to be able to flip back and reflect on my life outside of that, because my life is not work. And I want to look back at some of the positive pieces when I talk about my partner, or when I talk about something I did for myself or for someone else, or someone that did something for me, or maybe I had a good conversation with somebody. I want to be able to look back at these meaningful pieces to me that is important. And not to say that my professional life is not important to me, it is, which is why I got a separate planner just for that. So that is why I wanted to keep it away, because I wanted to look back and reflect on some of these pieces. Because if it was just work, you would just see, oh, it was a slow work day. Oh, well, my coworker did this for me. It's just like, okay, that's nice and all, but I want to see the moments with my partner and with my friends and my family. So that is why I try to stay conscious of that. So let me show you a little snippet of some of the dailies. Okay, so I can't find anything. I feel like it's too much. I don't feel like blurring things out. I could find a blank page for you because I did fall off a little bit sometimes. I did not fill every page, I'll be honest. And they're dated per day, and it challenges me to make sure to write something down. I don't have to fill out the entire page. I just have to write something, and that was the challenge of the year, which I clearly didn't really accomplish it, but I wanted to be able to to have that challenge and to have that nudge, and I want to be able to have that satisfaction that I did a lot of it. I fell off a lot during like late spring and throughout all of summer. My summer was so busy, but at the same time, I'm not kicking myself because it is a reflection of my life at that period. And in that period of time, I was very busy and I just didn't have that much time to sit down and journal, and I was exhausted all the time during summer. So honestly, no words also tells me what I need to know, you know? So that is a good reflection of what happened in 2023. And that's what all that matters to me, is that this reflects what my life was like in 2023. So that was this planner. On to my second Hobonichi weeks. Now this one was the failure of the year. My gosh. I used it for a health planner, and I would show you it, but honestly, it's just too much TMI. So I'm going to explain what I did. Essentially, these faint lines right here, I like darkened them with a pen. So each day just had its own all the way through the center. And I used one of the dots here as a faint line, and I put a line down, and I put down my meals of the day. I also went over some of my normal things, which is like something related to my cycle, how I felt with my sleep, and just noting those pieces here. And I usually rated how I felt about those things on a given day, 1 to 10. So that's what gives me the system I need to better understand myself and my patterns. For the notes section though, when I strike this right here and it had its own section, now that was different. I used it literally just for a note section of symptoms. So if I had a tummy ache, if I took pain meds, if I took my vitamin and how that made me feel, and things like that. I noted it here. If I noticed something new, I noted it here to kind of keep track of when it happened and when it started, because as some of you may know, the older we get, we have these problems, and when you go to the doctor, they always ask you when it started, and you could just have a hard time remembering when it did exactly, and that could determine how much they will care for you. So I tried to do that, and it was just really hard to keep up with because things just kind of happen, and it was hard. So in the notes section back here, what I did is I used it for doctor's notes. So at the very top, I just put the who, what, where, when, why, and what was covered during the appointment in a short bullet point list, what was prescribed to me, if anything, and what is the aftercare? What are the next steps? Do I have to follow up with them? Are they going to follow up with me? Should I see them in 3 months, 2 weeks? What's the deal? So that's what happens here. And then I also put down all the contact information, something I've been learning, and I don't know if anyone else does this. I've been asking for the doctors and the nurses their business card, because like, I don't know how many times, y'all probably experienced it too. It is really frustrating when a doctor or a nurse or an NP or a specialist introduce themselves and I don't remember their name, because I'm just so fixed on the anxiety of why I'm there, and I don't like hospital settings. I don't think anyone does. So I'm sitting there nervous and I'm just like, who helped me? I don't remember. And now you have a question, and then you're getting passed around in the system on who you're trying to talk to. Absolutely not, never again. I've learned my lesson. Now I ask for business cards. So then I've been pasting the business card into here and highlighting the person I talked to. So that is what I'm doing. I don't know if anyone else does that, but that's what I do. And it's important to keep track of who you talk to, because like they're going to ask you who you talk to. And then if you don't remember their name, it's just too much. So anyway, that is my rant. But essentially, I used this as a health planner and it didn't work out very well. So what I think I'm going to do instead is I'm going to utilize my personal planner for 2024 to kind of all encompass it. And I'll get into that right now. Actually, before I get into that, I want to mention my Hemlock and Oak Undated Daily Planner, which is the only non-Hobonichi item I am using. So this is the Undated Daily. I was really busy with work this past year, and I had a hard time fitting everything into my weeks, which was great. And the thing is though, is that I like planners, and I like having the like a time schedule, like the time blocking schedule on there. And this planner has it. So I'm going to flip to a random page, an empty one, and you could see that it has the schedule. So I do like this, and I'm aware of the Hobonichi cousin. However, she's hefty. Okay. The Hobonichi cousin is hefty, and this is hefty as well, but I don't know. I had the Hobonichi cousin in 2022, and I liked it a lot, but I just had such a hard time with filling out everything. Like suddenly it was just too big, and I was like, okay. And it really bothered me when I had empty pages everywhere, and it's an expensive planner, so it really gets me going when I don't be using it. So I decided to get an undated daily, because if I get an undated daily, I could still have the benefit of the schedules and not have to worry about the dates, and I could just fill out when needed. So for instance, when I was using this, like this has, let me just go to an old one. So right here, I could jump. So this one was actually consecutive. There's 18, 19, but let's say that I have a less busier day at work. I don't work every day, you know. I have like I have my weekends, my days off, or maybe I am off that day. What happens if I go on a vacation and then like 7 days are just blank in this chunky planner? Like that would just like bother the crap out of me, honestly. And it's just a waste of paper. So then I could just fill out when needed. So I have here, I could take advantage of the schedule. I could take advantage of this nice big notes page, which I could just scratch down stuff. I could scratch down if I had a certain meeting and then what I talked about in that meeting, and most importantly, the action I need to take after that meeting. So that is what this planner is for. It's strictly for work. I'm not precious about it. I'm not decorating it. This is strictly just for, I need to get something down and I need my schedule down. And even if I was also planning on using it for content planning too, but as you could see, it, you know, this is just what it looks like. I really like it. I like how I have a separate planner that is undated and it's not as precious. And if I want to be precious with it, I can. It's just really helpful to have some sort of daily. So I'm not super reliant on a big chunky one like the cousin, which I like separating the personal and professional. And if I want both, I'll just bring both. But otherwise, they don't have to be in the same spot. So that is the Hemlock and Oak. I'm going to continue using it. I bought it the beginning of Q4, and I'm going to continue using it. Okay, on to the 2024. If you only cared about what I'm doing for 2024, I don't blame you. And if you have skipped to this part, hello, welcome to my video. I do not blame you one bit. So this is my 2024 Hobonichi weeks. This is what I'm going to be using for my personal planning life and anything else in between, really. So I have gotten started already on it because I was running out of time, honestly, and I don't even have all the stickers I want. I'm actually waiting on more Coffee Monsters Co. stickers. These ones right here. I bought more from her. I still have existing ones, but then I have a lot of the emoji heads, but I wanted more of these ones, like the ones that have like specific actions, and I wanted ones to go into with me into 2024, and I wanted to like the tabs, for example. I don't have the tabs, and I ordered the tabs. I wanted to film that video when I had it all, but the holidays, there's a lot of delays, and I was just like, you know what, I'm never gonna film this video, and by this time everyone has moved on. So I wanted to just get this out now, and then perhaps maybe I will post a different time when I actually have like all those stickers. But basically I got started on this. So here's what the yearly is. I think I'm going to use this part for real for major holidays and milestones. I have sticky notes here. I haven't started yet just because I want to be sure on how I'm going to lay that out. So I have some reminders on what I'm going to use each area for. Then I have the index part here. As you saw from my other one, I used it for tracking my hours, but I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know if I want to do that, but to me it doesn't sound as fun. It just doesn't, I don't know, maybe. I could track my steps, I could track my paychecks, work hours. I've seen people use it for many different things. I'm not entirely sure how I want to use it. I don't know, like realistically, I do want to use it for like some sort of fitness tracker, but I have an Apple Watch which tracks that stuff for me. So I don't know if I want to translate that onto paper or just having it strictly virtual on like my on my Apple Watch and my rings. But we'll see. I did order Coffee Monster's Co's version of the Apple she has Apple Watch rings stickers, and I think that's really cute. So I don't know, still thinking. So that's a little bit of my brainstorm there. And I started the monthlies here. I started already putting some pieces down, but not too much. That's really all I got started on. But the area that I really want to show off is that in the Hobonichi weeks, if you are familiar, they give you some months before and after in anticipation that you don't have your next planner yet. So as you can see over here, there is a December month 2023. So this is just in case you didn't grab your next one, which is very nice of them actually. It doesn't start there, but then you go into finally January 2024. So at the end of the 2024 monthlies, it goes up until March 2025, which is really nice. However, since I am a planner girly, I already know for a fact that I am going to be pre-ordering my planners and those months will not be used. And again, I do not like having extra pages not being used for anything. So I decided to do it for something. I decided to manipulate them into other useful areas. And this is I want to try to be less precious. And like I said before, I get so conservative with my sticker usage and I want to use them more. And like I've seen people's pretty spreads and I want to be able to do that. I'm so shy about it. So my effort in battling that is utilizing those monthlies and just making them, oh, sorry if that messed up the audio, but making it something else. So going down over here, you could see ends January. I only left the January open for 2025, just in case, for whatever reason, but I don't anticipate I'm going to be missing out on my planners. This right here was February, and I covered it up with wax paper, which was actually the Coffee Monsters Co. It's the backing of the sticker paper. From the sticker papers that I used all the way, I peeled it off and then I used 3 of them, so they're just empty, and I pasted them down and they actually fit perfectly fine inside of the Hobonichi weeks. You don't have to cut them down like at all. So I was like, oh great. So I pasted them into here, and the reason why is because I wanted a way to transport my stickers in a convenient way without having to bring along this and then stuffing it in there and then it falls out and then it's just too much. And especially with other like loose stickers, that is really frustrating. So I was like, hey, why not? I'm gonna go ahead and paste in some of the wax paper here, reuse that material so I could keep stickers with me on the go. Now, isn't that crazy? I am so excited about that. So as you can see, I have my Coffee Monsters Co. stickers in here, and then I could just like, let's test it out, shall we? Let's test it out. So right here, I have some coffee stickers, some like really pretty ones actually. And then I could stick it in here, and then it doesn't stay there forever. It's wax paper, so I could just like peel it off and put it. Are you excited? I'm excited. Okay, so that, I am so happy I'm not precious with it, because like, see, this is what happens when you're not precious with it, because like you get to like really move around and do other crap. So that's that. So that's what my February 2025 page looks like. And then I turned my March 2025 monthly and I completely revamped it into a vision board / mood board / whatever manifestation stuff. But okay, honestly, I'm not a big fan of mood boards and vision boards, but it is fun. I see people do it all the time and I wanted to try it out. Who knows if it's actually going to pan out, but it is fine. It's a decorative piece. So I have a few things here and I'm going to explain a little bit of them. So you could see right here that this is a kitchen, this is a living room, and this is a bathroom. I am a homeowner and I want to be able to renovate or decorate or whatever these places, these areas in specific, a lot better to make it more homey. So that's going to be a lot of money and time invested. So I'm hoping that in 2024, I could prioritize those areas of the house in particular. So that's that. So over here, I have a picture of some hands and they have rings on, and I am engaged. However, we actually don't have any bands because we didn't really, I mean, honestly, we don't really care about jewelry like that, so we decided to just kind of save that money until we really know what we want. So we kind of do want them, but this also not only signifies wanting some bands, but also just signifying my relationship and my romantic relationship with my fiance and how much we have gone through in 2023 and we feel very strong, very proud. So this signifies like my relationship with him and how happy we are and how confident we are going into the next year. There's some other pieces here. Right here, you can see this is like an outdoorsy cabiny area. We didn't take any vacations in 2023, so we're hoping that we could have some more vacations in remote areas in 2024. So that's what that means. Right here, you can see that there's a camera and a laptop, and this is supposed to signify vlogging and online content creating, which I'm doing right now. And I want to be able to commit to doing that more. I did a little bit of it in 2023, not as much as I would want, but I'm not kicking myself. This is just something that I want to keep as an ongoing goal and something that I want to strive for. And then you could see these pieces right here. These are just journaling. This is a Hobonichi. This is a regular journal. I want to keep up with my planning and my journaling. So honestly, nothing too new from what I'm already doing in 2023, but it is just wanting to continue these good habits. I don't really have anything new I want to do in 2024. I feel like I'm just now scratching the surface on my goal for 2023, and I just want to like keep the momentum going, if that makes sense. And I also find that adding anything new and ambitious just stresses me out. So I'm just like, this is not supposed to stress me out. This is meant to make me feel a lot better with myself. And if it means not adding anything new, but just honing in on these newfound habits, practices, and skills, then I should continue doing so and not delegate more energy towards something else brand new, if that makes sense. Right here, I was gonna put like working out, but then essentially I wanted to water it down a little bit more into just closing my apple rings. So I don't know how accurate the standing one is or like the movement one is, but then I at least want to start closing my exercise ring. So in a way, this is just kind of like being more active. I don't have any strict fitness goals in that sense, but the only fitness goal is to just getting up and around, stretching, walking, doing more intense exercises, what have you, because it is really easy, especially if you work from home, which I do a majority of the time, to be stagnant. And I don't want that to happen. I'm not getting any younger. I should probably do my future self some favors if I want to, be more lucid and have some mobility. So closing my rings, taking advantage of that Apple Watch features, those fitness features, and then keeping it going. So right here, I'm qualified for the Carrera one. I have a lot of, I think everyone experienced this, the imposter syndrome. I never feel like I'm qualified, but I am still on my career grind. Finding a job in this day and age is very difficult. And I'm sure a lot of us could relate to that. Unfortunately, 2023 was just not the year for the job market, but we'll see what happens in 2024. I do like where I'm at right now. I did start a new position with a new position with the same company but in a different team. So I'm very happy with that change. However, it is not the end all be all for my career. I am still actively looking and I want to be able to find that next position that will make me fully happy and more financially fulfilling and stable for my lifestyle. Then right here is a big quote. I couldn't think of anything else to put on here, so I just put this big quote, and it reads, "The word of love is most often defined as a noun, yet all the more astute," oh God, am I saying that right? astute theorists of love acknowledge that we would all love better if we use it as a verb. This is a quote taken from the book All About Love by Bell Hooks. So I read that book last year. Was it last year? No, 2022. Yeah, I read it in 2022. I think I'm going to reread it, and just full of bangers, okay? I highly recommend you read this book. So good, and I live by a lot of the words that she's saying, and it makes a lot of sense, and I like it a lot. So I want to keep that going with me in 2024 and keeping those words in my mind, that love is a verb and it is something that you continue doing. It is something that you choose to do. And that is a philosophy that I want to stick by in 2024. So that is my mood slash vision slash gosh, I can't say anything. Mood slash vision board. Then we get into the December weeklies. Okay, so in 2020, in the weeklies, it gives you some extra weeks before the end of the year. So these are actually December weeklies for 2023, but I was using my other planner. I wasn't using this one. I didn't move into it yet. So these were just not going to be used until like here, January 1st, 2024. So I was like, what are these empty pages going to be? So I decided to use it for something else. So I blocked off the dates with some cute washi tape, and then I blocked off the month with a little sticky note, a blank sticky note that was actually taken from, let me show you, from these right here. Blah, blah, blah. And then I've covered it, and then I'm using this as an extra notes page. And then if you turn the page right here, this weekly now turns into quarter one. So I don't know exactly how I'm going to do this. I think I'm probably just going to use this as like maybe some goal doing. Maybe I'm going to use this side for like what I want quarter one to entail, and then maybe like light journaling, like what I want it to entail. And then this one is like what actually happened in quarter one, like highlights some room for growth, some, I don't want to say bad things, but then areas that could have been better and some things that worked out for quarter one. Just something that I'm thinking of. I don't know if I want it to be like, I don't know. Let me know what y'all think. So then the quarter two here, and then quarter three here, and then quarter four here. And then going into, so those are notes. And then now I have my actual things here. So January 1st, starting right here. Now, I have the notes sections in the back, and I am sure what I'm going to do. Very similar to what I did in 2023. I'm over here on this side. I'm going to have like my PO box address, emergency contact, which is some family and friends that are close to me if I needed them. Again, digital world, it's only very helpful and convenient when it's charged, and if it's not charged for whatever reason, your phone drops in the toilet, whatever, now you don't have that shit. So I need a backup, so having this here would be great. I'm gonna have my work contacts, things like my boss's numbers, whatever, my information related to my timesheet, because if I'm not around my computer that has these unique passwords, it's just a pain in the butt to not have those things on time, because I want to be paid on time. So work contacts is really important. Over here, I'm going to have some car information, things like my VIN number, things like the primary dealership, places I getting my service at. So that's pretty much what I'm going to have here, my year, make, and models, and so on. Just when you need those things, it's never in a convenient spot. I hate sifting through like my inbox and my emails, because that just like pisses me off. And then like another thing that is really annoying is having to go down to your car to find your VIN, and also everyone just has their own app nowadays, and which is convenient, but also I don't need a million zillion apps. It's just really annoying. So having that here would be really nice to kind of cut off all of those extra things out of the way. Nearest emergency services, I'm going to have noted here. And then the rest are blank. I don't think I'm going to use them all. I think they're just going to be regular notes pages. I always get overwhelmed on what to use them for, but when you go to the back over here, oh wait, where is it? Oh wait, here it is. I divided the pages in half, so kind of in half. There's about 70 something pages here, 73 pages. So I divided it almost in half. So I'm using this for health notes and doctor's appointments. So just in case I use this for like something else, I'm gonna have this last 30 or so pages for doctor's appointments and notes, which is what I mentioned earlier for my health planner, which I didn't entirely use. So I was using a page per appointment. So I'm going to use this for like eye appointments, dermatology, OBGYN, stuff like that. And then putting down contact information, addresses, phone numbers, emails, what was covered, prescribed, what is the following actions after, and then having that just kind of go on here, and I could have it all in one. Because having a separate planner for a health tracking was a bit too much for me, and I think I could fit it in here, and I learned that. So that is what I'm going to use my notes sections for. So that's that. And then this one will be my daily journal, which is going to be great again. I'm gonna put some photos of people in my life who I care about here, and I'm also going to just daily journal here. And I also have another pencil board so I could mark which day I have. I'm going to use the monthlies for my points of gratitude per day, or a good thing that happened to me that day. When it comes to this indexy part, I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to do. Last year, I did use it for something else that didn't work out very well that I forgot to mention. I used it for mood tracking, which it looks really neat here for a second, but it's a lot to keep up with, because sometimes when I'm like out and about, and then, well, not out and about, but like I don't have the exact marker with me at the moment where I'm at, and then it kind of made me mad. So I actually moved my mood tracking to a digital version, like an app instead. So I'm not sure what I'm going to use it for in here. We'll figure that out at another date. And if y'all use it for journaling and also use it for something else, I would be happy to know what you use it for. Yeah, I'm not sure. It may be blank. Who knows? But generally, the primary function of this is just journaling every day what happened. So that is that for this planner. Until my Coffee Monster Co. stickers come in, I'll do a little bit more in depth of what had happened in like the first couple weeks of planning in this journal and what I feel, and then I could go over maybe what I actually wrote down in my quarter one, and then it will be a little bit more fleshed out and to show you more things. But until then, I will probably do a separate setup video on my weeks then. So I think this is a good video, a good stopping point. I want to thank you all so much for stopping by my 2024 kind of setup video and what I plan to do with my planners and my diary. So again, thank you so much for stopping by. You have been watching Kabute this entire time. I have another video that I posted a couple months ago about my first impressions of my 2024 Hobonichi planners. Please check that out. And again, like and subscribe if you haven't gotten a chance to do so yet. I will try my best to post as much as I can. I will post a variety of things ranging from planner stuff to different organization systems, and hopefully vlogging in the future. I've been wanting to get more into vlogging because I think they're so cute. So keep an eye out for those. I'm on Instagram and I'm also on Twitter. If you don't follow me yet, I'll put everything linked in the bio below. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all again soon. Bye bye.